Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a deep dive into mastering TKS 8.12, and we're exploring something incredibly practical called the strength of truth, understanding correlation coefficients. You know, math isn't just about crunching a bunch of numbers for a test. It's actually a powerful tool for making smart, highly reliable choices in the real world. Okay, let's look at our roadmap for today. We've got 1, prudence and the big idea, 2, meet the correlation coefficient, 3, decoding the R value, 4, visualizing data relationships, 5, test your understanding, and finally, 6, education and biblical morality. Section 1, prudence and the big idea. Before we even touch a calculator today, we really have to ask ourselves, why is it so vital to evaluate if information is trustworthy? Proverbs 14:15 puts it exactly like this. The simple believe anything, but the prudent give thought to their steps. True prudence means we actively analyze our steps and our data. We don't just guess in the dark, right? We measure things so we can gain genuine, solid confidence in the path we're walking.
Moving right along, Section 2, meet the correlation coefficient.
Well, the great news is we actually have a mathematical tool designed exactly for this kind of prudent evaluation. The correlation coefficient is simply a number that tells us how closely a trend line fits your data to show relationship strength. Basically, the closer your data hugs that trend line, the more confident you can be in your predictions. A strong correlation means your predictions are super reliable, while a weak one means, well, they really aren't. This tool helps you actually measure how trustworthy your data relationships are, which is a massive skill for both your academics and your everyday life. Section 3, decoding the R value. You know what's really cool about this? The math is actually pretty simple once you break it down. In mathematics, the correlation coefficient is usually written just as the letter R. And the absolute beauty of R is that it will always, without fail, fall exactly within a specific range, right between -1 and +1.
So let's compare the two extremes here. If your R is close to 1, you have a strong positive correlation. This means the dots fit the line extremely well in a rising pattern. On the flip side, if R is close to -1, it's a strong negative correlation. The dots fit the line perfectly again, but this time in a falling pattern. The biggest takeaway? Both of these extremes mean your data is highly reliable. We can easily map these R values to their actual meanings. Notice how an R of 0.9 is a strong positive, an R of -0.8 is a strong negative, and an R of 0.1 means very weak or no correlation at all. And I want to reassure you, in middle school, you don't have to calculate R by hand, no way. You just need to read it from a graphing calculator and describe what it tells you, using examples exactly like the ones we're talking about right now. All right, Section 4, visualizing data relationships. So, what do these numbers actually mean when we map them out on a scatter plot? Well, tighter clustering around the trend line equals a stronger correlation. If there's a wider spread to the dots, that means a much weaker correlation. And if your R value is sitting right near 0, that just means the dots are scattered everywhere with absolutely no clear pattern to follow. Let's walk through our first example, a strong positive, where R equals 0.95. Because that number is so incredibly close to 1, a scatter plot for this would be tightly clustered around a rising trend line. That tight cluster gives us immense confidence when we make predictions about that rising data. Now for example 2. This is a moderate negative correlation where R equals -0.6. The data here would show a general decreasing trend, meaning it falls from left to right. But notice, it's not clustered very tightly together. Because it's only moderate, we have to be a little bit more cautious with our trust when predicting from it. And finally, example 3 shows what happens when there's basically no correlation. Here, R equals 0.05, which is almost exactly 0. The data points show absolutely no clear pattern. A trend line here is virtually useless for making predictions because the data is just randomly scattered. Section 5, test your understanding. All right, let's do a really quick knowledge check to lock this all in. Get ready. Number 1, describe the correlation if R equals 0.98. And number 2, if R equals -0.75, what kind of association is this? Take a second to think about it. Got your answers? Okay, for number 1, 0.98 is almost a perfect 1, so that is a strong positive correlation. For number 2, -0.75 tells us we're looking at a moderate to strong negative association. Let's try a couple more scenarios. Number 3, what does it actually mean if R equals 0? And number 4, a trend line has an R of -0.2. Is it a reliable predictor? Why or why not? Think on those for a second.
Okay, for number 3, an R of 0 means absolutely no relationship. The dots are just scattered randomly. For number 4, no, negative 0.2 is absolutely not a reliable predictor because the correlation is just way too weak. It's sitting too close to 0. And for our final scenario, can correlation actually prove one thing causes another? Explain. So the absolute crucial point here is no. Correlation only shows the strength and direction of a relationship between two variables. It absolutely does not prove that one thing causes the other. Never forget that distinction when you're evaluating data.
Section 6, Education and Biblical Morality. Okay, let's zoom out from the math for just a second. Why are we learning all this through the lens of the HeroesMart Academy Godly Learners series? The core philosophy here is that education without morality will hurt. Really think about it. What is the point of being smart and supposedly educated, knowing all about data clusters and correlation coefficients, if you just continue to make bad choices that hurt you or the people around you? Academic intelligence has to be powerfully paired with biblical morality for it to truly benefit our lives. And this actually brilliantly illustrates the point. Romans 8:6-7 promises peace of mind to everyone who keeps his or her mind spiritual. True education brings profound peace when we align our highly educated, prudent minds with spiritual wisdom. That's what we consistently experience, and it's exactly what we want for you as you engage with this learning. So, I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought today. Are you ready to use both your mathematical understanding and your spiritual prudence to make smart, trustworthy choices in life? I really hope you are. Keep measuring, keep giving deep thought to your steps, and use your sharp new knowledge to build a life of wisdom. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will catch you next time.